Yeah, so Oracle database is basically a relational database. Relational database, it means whatever the data is getting stored into the Oracle, it has some relation between each other. And this Oracle database is governed by the Oracle Corporation, and Oracle database was introduced by Oracle Corporation in 1971. And basically Oracle database stores the data and retrieve the data in a relational manner, and different data types will be stored in a particular storage device, and that will be accessible for all end users. So basically consider as a relational database. There are multiple relational database available in the market, like um, MySQL database, SQL Server, Postgres, and Oracle is the larger player still in the relational database side, because Oracle have a multiple reason to becoming a still a larger player in the market. And also there are some reasons behind becoming a larger player, and also one of the oldest database, I can say. So the most important reason is security. Security provides a major reason to become a larger database in the database market. So next I'll be covering the benefits of Oracle database. So benefit, if we consider any database on the basis of pricing. So first thing is, any client or any customer choose any database on the basis of price. If the price of that database, the monthly or yearly basis, whatever the billing they have to pay to that particular database for the services, and the support that they get from the particular database side. So that organization will charge some particular amount of money on a monthly basis or a yearly basis. That will be considered as a price of that database. So that actually matters a lot for any business. As per their need, client choose the database. Like if their database is very huge in size, or if the data is very important and they don't want to lose that database, so there are multiple parameters on that way. On those parameters they will identify whether these all parameters match for their demand or not. If that particular database that they are going to select for their for their organization, they will match with all the parameters, in that pricing comes on a very crucial factor. And after that, the next is database performance. So database performance also matters lot. Like if any client have, let's suppose we are working for Levi's, and Levi's database performance also matters a lot, because if the Levi's website will not be functioning good, or even if you are going inside the store and the billing that you are doing from the store, if it is not happening very smooth, then you won't be feeling good to go further again to that store. So in that situation, database performance matter a lot. And also like there are multiple parameters even inside the database performance, like database slowness, database enhancement, that the database is growing and in that way it is still accessible. Like if you wanted to fetch any data, it's getting execute whatever the query you are executing from any end user machine, you are getting that data very quickly. So there are multiple parameters in that database performance get tested. So that is a second thing that is plays a very important role for choosing any database. Next is hybrid cloud environment. Nowadays, cloud has playing a very important role in any choosing any database. Like every database is now available on cloud platforms. Like as we all know, we have a multiple platform on a cloud like AWS, Azure, and even Oracle itself have their own OCI, Oracle Cloud Platform. So if client is using any kind of cloud platform, it doesn't matter, but the database, it should be compatible with the particular cloud module. Otherwise it will again be a problem. So that's the reason, while choosing any database, client look for that things also, because nowadays cloud is providing a different type of services. Like they are providing software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. So as per their budget, if they are going with the software as a service, like they will be only having a application level support. In that situation, they will not be managing the database, or they will not be managing the infrastructure part. In that situation, if they will not be getting a very good support from the database side, then again it will be a problem for them. Like their website or their application will not be functioning as expected, and that will really impact their business. So in that situation also, they always go with the better compatibility of the database, which supports the cloud very smoothly. So they are also we can say, like while choosing a database, it should be very important that we should go with a database that supports a cloud platform, and their compatibility with the different flavor of cloud platform, it suits better, so that there should not be a further conflict if the client is changing their platform, like from AWS, if they are going to any other vendor. So in that situation, they should not get stuck with the database, because they have chosen a particular database and that is not working good with that particular different vendor. So here it also matters a lot. That's the reason Oracle is providing a very smooth collaboration with the different vendors of cloud. So there, you won't face any challenge while you are working with a Oracle or Azure or Alibaba or whatever the vendors are available in the cloud side. You won't face any challenge while working with a Oracle database. And the next is data security. So data security plays again a very important role, especially in the finance sector and banking sector. If the data, the particular client, whoever is going to choose that database, if their data is a very important database, like if they are an organization like a bank or any financial organization, or even for most of the organization, I can say nowadays the data security is a very important thing, because nowadays so many cyber threats are coming on their data. So many hackers are ready to hack their website, and they are doing unethical things. So in that case, data security is a very important factor. And also, like government websites also have a very lot of security, a lot of very serious data that they don't want to lose. Even world level or world organization, so many organization having data which is not easy to reveal in front of any end user. So in that case, they are choosing a database which is highly secure. In that, still I can say Oracle is still a number one player on the data security part. There are other databases, like MySQL is also part of Oracle database, because Oracle has acquired a MySQL, and MySQL is also providing a very good data security. So MySQL, SQL Server, and even Postgres, means all the relational database have a very good data security. So in that case, if you are going with any of these, I think it will be good. But yes, if you are going with one of the larger player, you will get a more better security, and also other supports also it will be smooth, because while working with a Oracle database, you have to look for Oracle support as well, and in that case Oracle supports
Hello,
plays a
Saurabh.
very important role. Yes.
I have a question actually.
Yes, tell me.
You talk about the security, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
data security is an important point to secure the data in the internet or in the cloud, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I one question came in my mind actually. Acha, what is SQL injection? I hear this word SQL injection and
No,
cross-site
I'm not saying
scripting.
SQL injection. I was talking about
So
SQL server. That is also
okay,
a
so
kind of
it's like a kind of
relational database.
vulnerable attack or SQL injection. I heard like it's a somebody is trying to inject something like so. It's what is this thing actually? SQL injection and cross-site scripting. Something. These are the terms
These are
I need to
actually,
know.
these all terms I didn't used, but yes, obviously, if any threats are coming on a database, so uh, data security is also a organizational level concern. If they are choosing any database, then it will be their concern to protect their database with any external vulnerabilities. In that case, firewall protection or database level securities will play a very important role. In that, Oracle have a different layer of data security, in that they are keeping security on the user level, on even on uh, different platforms. They have a different level of securities. So with that, they provide us security with the other threats which is coming on any kind of data breach.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got something.
So that is detail about a data security, and then data governance is a kind of data management, like how the data governance will manage the data, and how things has to happen, has to manage by the particular database actually. So in that is next if I cover the scalability and availability of database. So in that, the highly available database is a demand of current market, because nobody wants to be available just for few hours. Like any website nowadays, if you see all the online platform where you are doing a shopping, those all websites are not only operational in the business hours. Those websites are available in non-business hours also. Like uh, if you consider any website, Amazon, Flipkart, or any of the online platforms, all are available for 24 by 7 anytime. If you are willing to do any purchasing, you can log into their websites and you can do whatever the purchase you want to do from there. And that is highly available databases. And that highly availability, it can be ensured by the database that they have chosen. Like if you see all these online platforms, they have working with a database which are providing 99.5% of availability guarantee to their client, so that they should not lose business even in any time frame. Like if it will be a non-business hours or a business hour, it doesn't matter for them. Like 24 hours, 24 by 7, the database should be available. That is the reason highly available fault tolerance database is a current demand of the market. Like in that, the database should be available. If any disaster happen to that database, in that case also the database will be available with the different set of backups. In that, they will be able to make that database immediately available to the end user, so they will not face any challenge. So this will be about database availability. And the next is advanced analysis of a database. So if any issues happen, so in that Oracle have a lot of advanced ability to provide analysis of your issue. In that you can analyze, debug the issue with their reports. Like there are multiple reports and different debugging options are there in Oracle. With that you can debug as a DBA. If you are going to work as a DBA, Oracle DBA Resource, then you can debug the issue with the detail whatever is available on the Oracle itself. With that you can, most of the 99% issues you can resolve from your end itself. If something which is beyond your scope and you are not able to resolve it, then you have to open a ticket with Oracle support as a Oracle SR, and then they will provide a support on that. And if that issue is something very urgent, or it's production critical delivery, then you can make that CVT of the ticket to step one, and then they will provide extensive support to that, and then issue can get resolved within a limited time. So that's a good advanced analysis options are available in Oracle. So on that, all these parameters, any client or any person who is going to choose any particular database, they choose the database. So currently, relational database is still a larger part of the Oracle, larger part of the database. But yes, nowadays NoSQL database, no relational databases are also available in the market, like MongoDB, Cassandra, Redis. There are many other HBase. There are many other non-relational databases are there. For those databases, they are storing the data in a file format. There is no any such method like all the data should have a relational relation to each other. To storing those data, there is no such condition is required. They will just be dumping the data in a file format, and that will be a kind of cache memory. And from there the data accessible execution and accessibility is quite easy as compared to relational database. But yes, they do not have option, they do not have better scalability, kind of like if the data organization data is too huge, in that case they will not be able to sustain longer actually. And in that way relational database is leading, because they are able to run their business operations. Like they are able to manage a huge amount of data, and they are able to scale that database on a higher side. If they are going with a terabyte databases as well, they will be able to provide a good support, and there will not be any lagging while accessing the data from any end user. But there is some challenge with the NoSQL database. So mostly a small customer, or a small industry, or a small database businesses are going with a NoSQL database and open source database, I can say. Because the open source database, they are not too much expensive as compared to relational database, because they are just providing a basic level of support, and also like they are managing a small amount of data. And like if you see the example of all the gaming applications, or all these trading applications, this all kind of applications are working running on a open source databases like NoSQL databases, because they are basically running on the cache memory. And memory is easily available to execute and get the faster output from that. That is the reason small scale industries are choosing NoSQL and open source database. But yes, larger scale industry or huge database size organization are still going with the relational database. So this is the parameter to choose any database. So in that, Oracle is still a larger player that I'm saying from the starting. So these are the reason of choosing Oracle database. And now I'm going to discuss about Oracle database architecture. In that, the most important thing is instance and background process and their physical files. So if I'll be starting with the end user connection, like if any end user connection, like if you are accessing a SQL developer, so how the connection is getting established between your your SQL developer or any end user application to your database. So in that, listener plays a very important role when you are connecting any database through your end user application. So user process is getting generated from there when you are logging to your application, and that user process is communicating with a listener. So listener will have information about the host and port of the database. With that, it will provide a required information to connect to the database. So listener is responsible for identifying the database instance, and then listener will connect to the server process. And once the server process come into the role, uh, server process server process starts the uh, particular process which is responsible for connecting, making that connection, making that session established to the database. So server process creates a session. It will be a single shared session, or it will be a shared session, shared session. So if it will be a single session, so it will be considered as a PGA, program global area. So if it will be a single session, then it will have individual program global area, and for every new session it will have a separate program global area. But if it will be a shared server process, then it will be called as UGA, user global area, and that will have a collective information of all the session in a one place as a UGA. So once server process will get created, it will send that request to the SGA, and SGA is a combination of shared memory area. It has a different subcomponent of uh, memory part, and instance is basically a combination of SGA plus background process. And in the starting version of Oracle database, like from 7i or 8i, yeah, till 9i, I can say, is in a new release of 9i, Oracle has introduced a concept of multiple instance running on a single database. Before, it was a single instance database till 8i, I can say. Now Oracle was running with a single instance with a single database as a standalone database. But once the Oracle has introduced a different new version and releases, with that they have done a lot of enhancement to their databases, and in the latest version they have done a lot of changes. So this is the basic diagram, I can say, and it is not that complex as compared to the latest version. In that, if you see the rack environment, or if you see the other data guard platforms, or as per the business need, there are different flavors they have launched. So this is the basic one. In that, as I was talking about, like server process will send that request to the SGA, and in SGA there is a buffer cache. In buffer cache, that connection will get executed. Like any SQL is getting fired from the client side, then that connection will come to the buffer cache, and from buffer cache it will get executed. And first it will go to the share pool, and in share pool there is a two other sub component inside the share pool. That one is called dictionary cache, and the another one is called library cache. So library cache will have a information of all the executed SQL, like before your connection or any new connection which is getting established to the database. Before that also there will be so many other connection that has get established to the to the database. So those connection, whatever the information they have fetched from the database, that will get stored as a executed SQL in a library cache. So that library cache information, first it will do the syntax check, semantics check, and privilege check to the library cache and dictionary cache, and it will validate if that same SQL is getting executed. Then it will get the information from the library cache itself, and it will provide the output from there itself, and then it will return the output through the server process to the end user. That is the normal procedure if that executed SQL is already available to the library cache. If not, in that case it will go to the dictionary cache, and in dictionary cache it has a metadata of Oracle database objects. So it will do the syntax check, syntax check, semantic check, and privilege check. After that, if that object will have a privilege, or if not, in that situation it will create a new execution plan, and it will optimize the database and choose the best execution plan for this particular new session and new query. And on the basis of best execution plan, there is still lot of detail that we have to understand in detail while choosing a best execution plan, that I'll be covering in the next lecture. Because in the same architecture explaining all the things, it will become difficult to understand. So yeah, the thing is, it will create execution plan, and then it will by on the basis of that execution plan, it will fetch the data from the data file. And this particular part is a physical part of the database that will be stored in a disk. So that will be considered as an actual database. This part is a part of memory that will have an instance, and inside the instance SGA and background processes are there. And background processes, these all background processes are mandatory background processes, and with this background processes, these background processes are basically responsible for establishing the connection between the data file, control file, online read log to the instance, so that whatever the changes are happening to the database, that is getting stored to the data file or getting updated to control file and getting updated to the read log file. So the next is yeah, like from their data file, it will fetch the data, and then through the server process, because the server process was generated from here, it will be still available to return that output. Like from here, with the new execution plan, it will fetch the output from here data file, and then it will, through the server process, it will return that output to the buffer cache. And in buffer cache, as per the query demand, it will do the required modification to the buffer cache, and then it will return that output to the end user. Like it might be a DML execution, or it might be a DDL execution. Yes, I forgot to tell one thing. If you wanted to start your career as a Oracle DBA resource, or if you wanted to build your career in Oracle database, then the most important thing that you have to learn, that is SQL, and then the next is Unix. Because most of the organization, if you go, you will see Unix platform to work as a DBA. Like in my previous experience, I have most of the places I have worked on a Unix platform only to manage the database. So even I'm still saying, like working with our data Oracle database, you should have a very good understanding with the Unix, and you should have almost, I can say, expertise on a Unix. Because while working on a database, you have to do all kind of Unix activity that you need to perform on a Unix side. So Unix is very important. for building a career on a database. Obviously, even if you are growing your career in a database, you should require scripting knowledge as well. So scripting you can only do if you have a good understanding on Unix, and then you can do the shell scripting. And also, if you are working on a window platform, then you should have understanding to do some PowerShell scripting also, because as per the client demand, you may get a request for working on PowerShell automation related work, because working on a database, you have a multiple option that you can explore, and you can build a career in a different platforms. You can go to a data analyst side, or you can go to a data science side, or even you can work as a database administrator, or even you can become a developer, or you can become a DevOps engineer. As per the need, you can proceed in your career, or even you can continue as a DBA as well. There is nothing wrong in that. This is also one of the still most demanding, I can say. So yes, so now again we will be discussing to the architecture part only, because I just gave one condition. If somebody is executing SQL or any SQL statement like DML or DDL, so how it has behaved with a database, what changes exactly it happen on a database. So if it will be a DML statement, yeah, so DML statement will definitely do the changes on the database. It will be a insert, delete, or any statement that will do the changes on the database. So that changes will be happening on the database buffer cache. So buffer cache is an area where all the changes on a database will happen here. After that, the changes, whatever the changes will happen to the database, the changes will get transferred from buffer cache, because at a certain amount of memory, buffer cache during the database startup, this all areas are getting allocated some particular size inside the SGA. So they can store that much amount of data into that. After that, they have to transfer that data to the different portion of the instance. So from buffer cache, once the required execution will happen here, like whatever the data modification will happen to database buffer cache, it will transfer that modified dirty buffer to online read log. So online read log will keep all the modified data, and there are some condition like how long this database buffer cache can sustain a modified dirty buffer, like till it can sustain 1 GB of dirty buffer, or it will be one third filled. It can sustain, and then it will start transferring that modified data to the online read log. And then background process plays a very important role for transferring this dirty buffer to a online read log, or updating that modified data to a data file, or updating the check pointer to a control file or data file. So that I'll be covering again. Before, I'll be covering this Java pool and stream pool. So Java pool is basically getting utilized when you are executing any Java stream related query, because Oracle is very much compatible with the Java related application, because Java is also somewhere, I can say, it's occupied by the Oracle Corporation. So compatibility with Java application, Oracle has highly secure and compatible platform, I can say, with a Java application. So it provides advanced execution capacity with a Java related scripts or Java related queries. It will get utilized the Java pool. And large pool is basically getting utilized when your database is getting MTS, or it's getting executed for Arman. Arman itself, a kind of database backup, that is the most recent one that is responsible for taking a database backup. So if even if we go with the traditional backup format, like hot backup or cold backup, with that also, whenever the database is getting restore or recover or backup is happening, that time large pool is getting utilized, it will share that memory to the SGA to happen that particular execution, or to happen that particular activity, like database backup, recovery, or restore. Those kind of activities will utilize this area. And the next is background process. So in background process, checkpoint is responsible for making a database consistency. In that, like checkpointer is generating a SCN number. SCN number is a kind of incremental value that is responsible for making a database consistent. So it will be updating that the list, like for every change, check pointer is getting check pointer is happening, and that check pointer is generating a SCN number. SCN number is system change number. That is a unique number that is getting generated for every modified data vector. With that, it will be updating that new SCN number to the header of a control file and data file. And with that, it will make the database consistent. And the next is at the time when the checkpointer occur, at the same time log writer writes the modified data to a online read log. Like whenever the read log buffer will get filled up, it will start writing to the through the log writer, it will start writing to the online read log. And even whenever the checkpointer will occur, that time also it will start writing. There are some set of condition. On that basis, log writer starts writing those change vector to the online read log. And similarly, db writer writes whenever the log writer writes their online read log buffer to the online read log file. That's the same. Simultaneously, log db writer will also start writing modified data to the online to the data file. But yes, we have to keep in mind, like log writer writes first and then db writer writes. So this is the thing. And then the asmon and pmon. Asmon is a system monitor which is responsible for doing an instance recovery, or even any roll forward, like if database is getting crashed. So in that case, it will be responsible for rolling forward all the uncommitted data. It will roll forward. And also it is responsible for making a database open to the end user. Like when you are restarting a database, or when the database is getting started, that time asmon plays a major role to make that database available to the end user. So that's the work of asmon. And the next is pmon. Pmon is program global area, that is responsible for clearing all the dead sessions. And also it is responsible for clearing the dead dispatcher from the database. And let's suppose, like whatever the session is getting disconnected from the database, their session information, whatever it will be there on the database level, that it will be clearing it to make the database smooth and become a faster once it will clear that. So that is the work of pmon. And also, like Pmon is responsible. Pmon is responsible for providing the information to the listener about the database host and port. So this is the detail of all the background process. Yes, in that Rico is a background process that is responsible for read log. Read log, whatever the read log is getting generated. Rico is responsible for that read logs to transfer from read log to archive log location. So this background process is coming into picture in those conditions when the database will be in the archive log mode. If the database will not be in the archive log mode, then this will not be getting used. Like in Levi's stores especially, our database will not be in the archive log mode. It will be in no archive log mode. If the database is no archive log mode, then you will not have a database. You will not have a database consistency. Your database will not have option to take a backup. Like if database is getting crashed, then you have no option to recover that. But if the database is very important data, in that case we are keeping our database in our archive log mode, and then you will get this option for keeping all the online raid log. It will do the archiving of the online raid logs to a archive log file. So this online raid log are getting switch on a certain time period, because once one online raid log will get filled, it will do a alter system switch, and it will start writing to the another online raid log. Yeah, that's the way. Or like whenever the data changes are happening, it's going through a read log buffer cache, and through log writer it's coming to online read log, and it first is write to a log 1. Once it will get filled up, then it will do the switch over, and it will start writing to the log, log 2. And then after that, after certain time, it will do the archiving of, once it will get filled up, then it will start doing the archiving of the online read logs. So this is the whole about the architecture of a database. So in the next in the next session, I think we will be covering the other detail of the database. In that, I'll be covering the other details in detail about the other component of a database and other parameter. Just a minute. Yeah, I think we have some 15-minute time. So in that, I'll be covering few more things. Yeah.
Hello,
Yes.
Saurabh.
Anyone
Any
have any?
free database is available, freeware database in the market, like we can use for testing purpose or something?
Every database you can, as per the individual use, you can download it in your machine, and you can do the required testing whatever you wanted to do in any kind of database,
Mhm.
even for Oracle or even for any kind of database. If you wanted to download, you can download, and you can do the installation to your postal system, and you can do whatever the testing you wanted to do in that. But yes,
Okay.
if
So
you are going for organizational
licensing.
level, then it require a
Mhm.
licensing. Without having a proper
Okay.
license, you cannot do that anything. Means if you use, they will start charging to that organization. So that's the thing. Individual use, you can download to your system any database like Oracle, MySQL, SQL, or even open source database, NoSQL database. But yes, you have to have a very good understanding for using it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Anyone have any other query about the architecture or any other things that you wanted to understand in that? I think
Not
another
right
10
now, but
minutes
thank
we
you.
have. Yes.
Do they also offer courses? And I don't remember if you mentioned this, but does Wipro also offer courses specifically for the learning SQL language?
Yeah, I think there is we learn platform. From there you can check the courses related to SQL, and yeah, from there you can do. And even they are on some period of time, they are scheduling different training sessions for different technology. In that, I think if you will reach out to them to get the information about when they are scheduling the next session for SQL. I think you will get that information from them.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So anyone, any other question? Obviously, if somebody wanted to start the career with a database, so they should have a very good understanding on the architecture part, because as a as a as a L1 level resource, you will get a lot of question from here. People ask question from here in your interview sessions, or even this is a most important thing. If you have a very good understanding on the architecture, you can understand database in a detail. Even this kind of architecture, it will be helpful for understanding other different flavor of a database. Like obviously, if you are going to work as a DBA, so you might get other flavor of a database, to get use in your project. So that time it will help you to understand the different database, because I have worked in a different databases. So as per my understanding, I have seen, if you have a good understanding on one database, you will be able to utilize that understanding to another database, because somewhere I can say the way of working with a database will be similar. Hello, anyone have any query?
No, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I think one part I forgot. Yeah, control file is a kind of file which is responsible for storing metadata or information of a database. In that, it is like a brain of a database. It will have information of all the data file, all the read log file information. It will have a specific information, not the actual data. It will have a basic, like as you store a link of anything in, and once you click to the link, you reach out to the website. Similarly, control file have a basic information about the database files, control file, online read log file, or and even for the database name and other information. So from here you can get that information actually. And there are a few more things that is not showing in this diagram, but yes, I'll be showing in the next lecture. That is a parameter file and password file. Parameter file is a kind of heart for the database. Like parameter file will have a two kind of files. One is P file and SP file. Parameter file is having information about the SGA component, whatever the SGA components you can see here. This all component will be declared with the size in the P file, or your parameter file. From there, while starting a database starts in a different mood. So that I'll be covering in a next lecture. But yes, we have to understand, like, for starting a database, the parameter file is a most important thing that is responsible for allocating this instance and starting this background process. So parameter file, in that P file, will have the information about all these as SDA components, and their size will be defined into that, and also about the database name, and other few details about the database will be there in that. All the configuration related stuffs will be there in that. So SDA is a kind of in the initial version of database, like 7i 8i database was running with a P file only. But in the 9i release, Oracle has introduced SP file, and SP file is a kind of binary file. If you open a database without mentioning a P file in your startup command, then it will open with a P file itself. As of now, I'm not having option to do the practical demo, but yes, if required in the next lecture, I will try to show that things in a practical as well. So I think we are good for today. If anyone have any query, please ask me.
Will do. Thank you.
Okay, thanks all.
Okay, thank you so much, Saurabh.
Welcome.
Okay, thank you all for joining the session.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.